Maybe one of the reasons you're looking at something like an E-kit is that a acoustic kit is going to be too loud for your setting. The other thing that's really nice about this, it makes it really easy for back of house and for the sound people. My name's Keith and I am one of the drummers here at Cornerstone Community Church in Northville, Minnesota. And today we're taking a look at the Alesis Strata Core kit. So getting right into it, let's just take a look at the basics of the kit. The kit is a 5-piece kit with 2 8-inch toms, a 10-inch floor tom or additional tom, and a 10-inch snare. You have an 8-inch kick tower, which is down here by my foot. And although I'm a traditionalist and like, wow, I don't know if I would really like the tower versus a regular kit drum, it really hasn't impacted the way that we do worship here. For the traditionalists out there, oh, I want a real kick versus a tower. It's very doable, and we're using a DW pedal, so you can use your own pedal and you can dial that in the way that you want. So now moving to cymbals, got a 12-inch crash and ride, a 10-inch splash, and a 12-inch hi-hat. And all of them have 3 zones, which just means that you can hit the rim, you can hit the bell, and you can hit the flat of the cymbal, which is great. Also, they're 100% reactive, which means if they're rotating, there's not one spot you hit and it'll trigger. You can hit anywhere and it'll trigger. So you can hit the cymbal and then you can choke it either with a stick or you can choke it with your hand, and that works anywhere on the cymbals. And that's something that I really, really like about the Alesis kit. Moving on to the dual zone drum pads, you can do rim hits on the outside of the drum and on the snare, and that's great. So if you switch one of the kits in the module to be something like Calypso or more steel band type, you literally can have a steel band sound with the one sound on the actual pad itself and another sound coming off of the rim. The other thing that I really, really like is it's got a 4-post mounted bracket system. It was super, super easy to set up, and everything is just right there within easy reach. One thing that we did, and it's just personal preference, but we got a real tight wrap on all of the lines and the wires going to the module, which just makes it really, really easy. If we need to move it around, we just pick it up and go, and there's nothing to trip over. So moving to the core module, it has 75 preset drum kits with unlimited user slots, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But basically, if you and another drummer on your team have a different drum kit with different settings on that drum kit, you can dial those completely in on the module, which is great. There are 370 plus kits within each kit, which just means that I load the dark and roomy kit and I want to change the cymbals a little bit. I can change every single element within that kit. So I can really dial it in for myself and how I play, and the other players can dial it in for themselves and how they play. It's a 7-inch touchscreen with detailed parameters for FX and mixing. It's easy to use. Now there's also dials that allow you to fine tune the specific area, dampening, ambience, and things like that. You have an out of house from the kit to back of house main. You have an aux, so you can just listen to what's coming in, and you have phones, so if you just want to play privately and nothing's going out in the house, you can use that as well. On the back, it has a USB, a 5-pin MIDI, and 1/8 jack, and TRS 1/4-inch jack, which is great, because then you can take your 1/4-inch or your 1/8 and plug them directly in, and whether you're using a in-ear monitor or other setup, you can dial it in just the way you need it because you've got both of the options. So now we're moving right to the kit. So I'm going to draw your attention to the module itself. And what you first see when you look at the module up in this far left corner, it says the user, which is the user kit. So I can tap browse, and that's the user kits that are showing up right now. So currently I've got New York Maple Kit softer cymbals. And that just means that someone saved that additional softer cymbals as a user setting. Maybe we really, really like the New York Maple Kit, but we wanted to soften the cymbal sound just a little bit that was going to the house. And you can do one of 2 things. You can just scroll through by your hand, or you can move around your kits with this left dial over here that allows you just to adjust everything. And that's one of the things I really, really like about the kit. It's very user-friendly, but it also gives you a lot of parameters that you can set and dial in for your exact kind of settings. Once you're in the kit that you want, you actually just push and hold until it turns red. This is one of those areas where maybe Alesis has got an update coming, I'm not sure, but it just seems like sometimes it doesn't want to pick them right away. But then if you just go to one before it and then come back down and push and hold again, it selects it. It's not gonna be a rapid fire on the fly, set your kit. You have a little bit of patience with it, but it works great. An opportunity for Alesis, if you're watching, to improve that area, maybe with an update. Then over here, you can just hit kit. So I've selected New York Maple, kit, and the user is Josh. I just hit kit, and then the kit loads. And what you'll see there is the expansion capabilities as well. So I set a 5-piece kit, but it shows that you can do the snare, a tom, a secondary tom, and 2 floor toms. The hi-hat, a crash, a ride, and a splash, and maybe an additional cymbal if you want to put it in there. Now here's what I really love about the kit. Let's say I'm playing something and I want to dial in just one of the specifics, cymbal, tom, maybe even the kick. All I have to do is select that individual. So I'm going to choose the snare. And now I've got done 13-inch TI snare on stick. What I can do is, as soon as I hit it, it'll show. So you not only see in the center where I'm hitting, but if I hit the rim, it'll show the rim. So there's your dual zone hitting capabilities. But it also shows the intensity of what I'm hitting. So when you see that little light up, we'll do that again. So not only is the system letting you know what it's doing and how it's reacting, but you can visually see it as well. So if you're teaching someone, maybe like a video like this, you can help them know that they got the dual zone, showing the center, and the rim shot, showing the outer, which is great. Now let's say I don't want that snare and that sound. We're going maybe for something a little more jazzy or maybe a little more flat. I can literally use this scroll wheel over here and pick another one. And notice it says push to load. So here's C snare. Let's see what that one sounds like. Push and hold. And sometimes the rim shot is no different than the main, but there you go. And if you don't like that one, what you can do is you can go back to the kit, select your kit again, and when you go out of it, if you don't hit save, it will not save the changes that you did. So you wanted to hear what that one sounded like, it didn't fit the kit you were looking for, you can go ahead and adjust that. Now here's something that's really, really unique about this specific set. You can actually adjust the hi-hat to your liking, but when you first set it up, you actually want to do the hi-hat settings. So there's a button right here and it says trigger. I'm just going to touch that and it's going to tell me all the different triggers that I want to use. And now as you notice, I can adjust every single thing. The curve, the head sensitivity, the rim sensitivity. This is a little more than what we want to do today, but there are so many things that you can fine tune and dial in for your desired usage. But there's a special option right here for edit, and that pulls up all of the kit, what's currently selected. So I've currently got the snare selected. If I tap out of there and tap to mics or advanced, I can do some of those other things. I can tweak some settings. And if I'm out, I just hit kit again. I'm back to the main page. Up here under edit, it'll tell you what the kit is. It'll tell you what I've selected in the hi-hat selected. So if I now choose this tom, it won't work because I don't have an additional tom, but it recognizes it. So let's choose the crash. So the crash is selected. I'm currently on the New York Maple kit. Josh shows the person that the kit is selected for. And then I can dial in all of the specifics on this setting. The dampening, the attack, the tuning, the dynamics, and the pan. Hit kit again and I go back to the main screen. Up here under advanced, no matter what kit you're selecting, is a little button that you tap, it's hi-hat select. And then right next to that is hi-hat setup. Tap hi-hat setup, and this is where it gets really neat. It tells you, it's dummy proof. It tells you, loosen the clutch and let the hi-hat cymbal rest freely on the controller. So I'm just gonna put the pedal down, loosen the clutch, and just hit set. Now what I wanna do is I wanna adjust the clutch to my preferred setting, the way that I like it, the way that I feel comfortable when I'm playing. So I'm gonna bring it down about a quarter of the way on the pedal, tighten the clutch, knowing that that's kind of really where I want it to respond, and then hit finish. If you'd like to fine tune open close position, adjust the pedal bottom and pedal top parameters until the trigger meets the parameters you're looking for. That's the basic setup. Now I'm going to open the clutch. That's my desired setting. let go of the pedal, hit finish, and hit kit. If I did that right, closed, open. That simple. That's some of the basics of walking around the module, but there's so much that you can do with the Alesis Strata Core kit. And we have found in the couple of months, half a year that we've had it already, that it really is a really nice addition to our church. Maybe one of the reasons you're looking at something like an E-kit is that a acoustic kit is going to be too loud for your setting. The Alesis Strata Core is actually a great option for that. The other thing that's really nice about this, it makes it really easy for back of house and for the sound people. There's 2 1/4-inch jacks that go out, a left and a right. There's a challenge there though. If you want to dial in every single piece of the kit, that's on the user, not on the back of house and the sound team. Make sure you're working with your back of house and your sound team. It's incredibly important to always be doing that, but especially with something like this. You want to ensure that the sound in the main part of your auditorium, your worship center, is high enough that they don't hear this before they hear this. We've run into that a couple times in some of our slower songs, and you're hearing the hi-hat and it sounds really good, but all you're hearing is, and that's really annoying. So really working with your sound team and making sure those are dialed in well is really something that you're going to want to do. But that's the overall. Please feel free if you have any questions to reach out, and we'll be putting another video together with more deep dive into the Alesis Strata Core kit.